participate.
Okay, I just started the live stream. Where's the full screen mode? There it is. Okay, cool. Now I got to go to the YouTube channel, see any comments. I think Bray will join. It'll probably just be a little bit later. Awesome, cool. So how you been doing in the day since we've talked?
Fine, except I think I committed to too many jobs today. So it's Saturday, and feel a little sad about that I'm got a lot of jobs and just these little 1.5 hour spaces in between sometimes. You know what I mean? So there's like
not enough
something
time
like 7.5 hours. Yeah, it's like 7.5 hours of free time, but it's all, chopped up throughout the day. So, I don't know. Need to start saying no to jobs sometimes. It's hard. But
yeah, you would
sometimes you got to do that.
You would think that's enough time, but there's definitely something to be said about knowing you need to be somewhere later. I hate that feeling so much. Like, oh my God, I hate that feeling. I wish I didn't hate it, but I do.
Yeah. I haven't had that in a really long time. I would like 2 full days off of no dog walks or anything. Just even if I had to do some chores during that, a few light chores during that time, that'd be fine.
Few cleaning days.
Or errands. Just, cleaning or just bopping around town doing errands. That's fine. But just a few, not too many.
That's something
nice.
I underestimated is how long cleaning actually takes. Like, I've been trying to prioritize cleaning, and I've been pretty good. Like, I woke up today and I cleaned. I don't do that every day, but that is like every other day, every third day. But now I'm seeing just how much time and effort it takes to actually keep a house maintained and clean. Like, oh my God, even though I'm the only person here, it's still, I have to dust and I have to sweep every day and mop every other day, and it's time consuming, really time consuming.
Do you have to mop every day? Are people that mess every other day? Are they that messy?
It's not even that people are messy, it's that in Nicaragua there's loads of dust, and right now it's the dry season. And we live in a super windy house, which is nice because a lot of people in Managua complain about the heat, but I'm not really that affected by it because the house is so breezy. It's the second floor of a building and yada yada. But it does mean that there's a lot of dust that piles up.
Oh.
And then it gets on you. You can't really, if you have bare feet and you just cleaned the house, then you can walk around and your feet won't get dirty. But that period lasts for 5 hours, maybe.
Wow. I just get used to dirty feet.
Yeah. Well, it gets problematic because then you want to get in your bed, and then, there's solutions to this, slippers and these kinds of things. Yeah. But I haven't matured to the point of knowing all these solutions.
You forget stuff, too. Because my mom and dad were very, I don't know, they knew what to do. But I sort of, in my teen years, I kind of rejected everything that they ever taught me. Kind of threw out the baby with the bathwater. There were some things that needed to be thrown out.
Yeah.
But not everything needed to be thrown out. So it's I'm still relearning things. I was just thinking about slippers this morning. That I need a pair of slippers or some kind of shoes that are only worn in the house.
Yeah.
Because my landlord just put in new carpet, and he's very sensitive about wanting to keep it nice, and I understand that.
Yeah, carpet's hard.
I don't want to be the one. Hmm?
Carpet's hard to maintain. Do you guys wear shoes in the house?
Yeah, they do. I usually take mine off.
That's a thing. I'm like an Asian. If I see someone wearing shoes in a house, I'm like, ew.
I know. I don't. I take my shoes off. Wear stocking feet usually, but then I worry about maybe the oils in my feet. Whatever. Stinky socks. That could mess up a carpet too. So that's what I was thinking. I'm especially in the summertime. It gets a little sweaty. So I thought if I just had a pair of shoes I only wore in the house, and that would solve that problem. I think I'm going to get some slippers. Isn't it silly?
Yeah,
Slippers.
it's
The
the
whole
little
conversation
things.
about slippers.
Well, and it's
It is.
relevant to me because that's something I haven't like, because I'm really, really trying to prioritize maintaining my environment. And I've gotten better at that, but I still don't not do things until my environment's completely clean. I'll just like clean up a little bit. And I want to get myself to the point where I put maintaining my environment before everything else. But the trouble with that, like right now it's fine because I'm the only one here, so it's way easier. The trouble with that is when I'm around a lot of people, then if I start caring that much about the environment, I often get quite frustrated, especially when I'm around people who don't value these things, right? And like on one hand, I can communicate with them, but on the other hand, I'm the one who's putting this on myself to care this much, right? So it's kind of like a balance of learning how much I want to prioritize it. And I think I need to just learn to be that way regardless. Like I think I would prefer to be a person who's maybe a little bit irritating because they care so much about that. But I think that would
You're
be
saying you
better
want to
off.
be okay with that?
Yeah, I think I want to be okay with that. Like normally I don't want to irritate or bother people, but I think if they can feel like a little bit of an obligation to be cleaner around me, maybe it's not the end of the world.
No, absolutely not. But you know, there's different ways of saying things. You know, you can just remind people in a nice way. Because you know, the thing is, it's great to have a clean home, but if everyone hates you,
Yeah,
that
that's
can
the
kind of mess
extreme.
up your vibe. That can mess up your vibe too. I mean, that's kind of like was one of my things that I threw out because my mom would get really stressed out and she'd want people to help her, but she wouldn't ask. You know, like we were teenagers. You know, you have
Yeah,
to ask
yeah.
us, and you have to be specific about what
The
you want us to do.
mother-child dynamic
Because,
is way different.
oh, it's not.
No, I mean, it's way
Well,
more
maybe it is.
complicated. Like, I can just clean up after
Yeah.
people and tell them to fuck off if I get irritated at them, and they know how I feel. Like, it's not a problem. Whereas if it was a child, I couldn't use that strategy. I couldn't think that the child is going to feel a desire to clean because they see me cleaning. That's not a thing to a kid. Whereas to my friends here,
I
like,
don't
if
think.
I clean up a bunch, then they're like, whoa, they feel guilty. They start moving, they start doing stuff. So
Oh,
I
they
literally,
do.
yeah,
They do.
yeah, I really value the people I'm around, and I can be
Uh
that
huh.
way. I don't have to like nitpick with them. I can just show them a way
Uh
to
huh.
be, and then they'll follow suit most of the time.
Well, yeah. Well, where I was going with that is I decided when my kids were coming up, I wasn't going to be like that, you know, be a nag and all that. And, you know, and so sometimes things were a little messy, not like a hoarder house or anything, but, you know, sometimes they weren't perfect. And I just kind of let a lot go with my kids. But, you know, when they became adults, they knew what a clean house looked like, and they have a fairly clean house,
I
you
like
know.
that sentence. They knew what a
So,
clean house looked like. That is a good
yeah.
sentence. Because that's something I like. I've learned that now from living with the girls here. But prior, I literally didn't know. Like, they would be like, oh, this is filthy. And I'd be like, what are you talking about? It's whatever you're concerned about is literally invisible to me. How do I fix this? I don't know. How do you fix something you can't see?
That's funny. Yeah, most guys don't. My ex father-in-law used to say, as long as there's food on the table and clean clothes, I'm good. He didn't. He said that, but then again, if it had been a hoarder house, I'm sure he might have noticed. But you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, I get that. You guys, yeah, it's not as important to most men, and that's
Well,
fine. You know, I don't have a problem.
we should avoid generalizing between the sexes because in my experience, that is often true. However, I lived with someone for like on and off for like 2 or 3 years, and she was super messy. Like she would get her clothes all had specific places on the floor. There was like an area where her dresses were, an area where her underwear were, and if they were put away, that was a problem. Like that was a problem. I've definitely seen from when I lived in the Craigslist house, I lived with like 30 different people over a period of a couple years, and I will definitely say that in that house all of the guys and all of the girls were messy. There was no like, oh, the girls are a little bit cleaner. The girls had just so much stuff. It was ridiculous. So many clothes, shoes. Oh gosh.
Wait, you're generalizing.
No, I'm
No kidding.
saying the girls in that house that I lived in
In that
had loads of stuff. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
So I want to take a moment. In the
Yeah.
chat, Broing said hello. B Tino said, "What's up, Jack?" Ann's SSS says hello. And what's up, guys? Good to see you again. Broing, every time I see you, I know that I need to make a tip top video, and I haven't done it yet. But I promise you, 2020 tip top video. It's gonna happen. Do you know what tip top is, Rita?
Yeah. I mean, kind of. I mean, I've seen one. I don't really get it
Wait, you've
because
seen
I
one?
don't
They have
care.
them in
But
California?
I saw it on the internet somewhere.
Oh. Wait, what is it?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It came up as an ad on YouTube.
What? For
Unless
TikTok?
I'm TikTok, right?
Oh, no, TikTok is
It's
different.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, TikTok is
Sorry.
like a video hosting platform or something. But this guy's asking about Tip Top, which is
Oh, that's a restaurant, right?
yeah, it's a fried
Is that
chicken
okay?
franchise in Nicaragua. Maybe in other
Oh,
places in
okay.
Latin America. But it's like, it's funny because all my friends, all my Nicaraguan friends, they're like kind of hippie and care about their health and stuff, so they do not like Tip Top. But then a lot of people love Tip Top, like a lot of Nicaraguans in particular. So Broing's always asking me to go to Tip Top and make a video about it because he lives in the U.S. and he remembers Tip Top. So I think it's funny because it's
Oh,
like,
it's kind of like In-N-Out Burger in California. People, when they're away from California, they feel sad because they can't go to
yeah,
In-N-Out Burger.
yeah, exactly. Except it's
I don't.
for just fried chicken. So like KFC or Popeyes. That's the closest thing I can imagine.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds horrible. Horribly delicious.
Yeah, there you go. Good save. So Oklahomies has a question. Why does HydroLister work and list one day, but the next day everything fails with no edit button or explanation? I think the lister has a lot of issues. Okay, there's a lot to unpack there. So first off, I'm associated with HydroLister because I used it years ago because it was the cheapest way to list huge amounts of products. Originally, I would use it to list between like 10 and 120,000 items a month on eBay. And I only had to pay $80 for HydroLister. HydroLister changed that because every time a user uses their service, they have to pay a penny or like half a penny or something. So because I was listing so many items, I was actually losing them money. I was losing them like a couple $100 every month just based on like how much I was paying and how much usage I was using. And they let me like they were okay with that because I was running a YouTube channel promoting HydroLister. But after time, like 3 or 4 other peoples were also using the server or HydroLister to the same level that I was. They placed a new restriction on HydroLister that only enabled you to use 2,000 items per month. Okay, and that for me that killed it completely because I needed to post over 100,000 items at the time. So ever since then, I stopped using HydroLister, and I was super confused because my understanding was that HydroLister and SkuGrid had some like political drama, split up, and then there was a new tool being developed called Viking Drop. But then HydroLister still exists. I have no idea what's being done to maintain that tool, if anything. Because as far as I understand, it was depreciated. So I can't really speak to what like who currently is maintaining HydroLister, but as far as I understand, the people behind it moved on to another project. So when people ask me like, oh, they're having problems with using HydroLister now, I'm like, well, of course you are. It's depreciated software. You should use something else. That being said, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I'm out of touch with that, like I said. But last I was told, that's what was happening. So if HydroLister is being used and maintained now, I don't really know too much about it. And it's changed so much since I used it. Like I said, I was using it to do something that you literally can't even use it for anymore. So that's the best I can give you, unfortunately. Sometimes it was just like bad days and good days. There would be days I could post something and it would be solid. Other days I would post something and every single thing would be errored. There was one problem. There was an issue with the Chrome extension Grammarly. So if you had changed your template in HydroLister and you had clicked save with the Grammarly Chrome extension enabled, that injected some metacode into your template, which would cause all of your listings to fail. So you had to delete your templates or restart them in order for that to happen. But that was an old issue. That was like an issue like a year or 2 years ago. If you're using Grammarly, maybe that's causing you a problem. But honestly, I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. I wish I could help more, but I'm just not experienced with HydroLister anymore. Like I said, I used it for something it can't even do anymore. All right, next is Tino says, Jack, have you ever heard of Commerce HQ by John Mack? No, I have not. So let's go hear about it. Let's go hear about it from Google. I'm going to go to Google. Google. And it's called Commerce by John Mack. Is this like one of those fancy, crazy courses? Oh, yeah, first thing is scammer legit. All right. Millionaire challenge. Look at this dude. Does he have a fancy photo with a fancy car or something? Oh, hey, there's no car in his background. Oh, that's sweet. Oh man, I hate these fucking websites. Sorry, guys. I don't know who this person is, and maybe they have valuable information. But there's so much of this where they're like, oh, look at this, well done website. We're going to change your life. We're going to do that. Look, meet me. Okay, success stories. Here are the testimonials. Talk to these videos. Look at all these people. It's just the same kind of thing over and over again. And it is so hard to tell. Like, when somebody does this professionally, they don't actually have to be selling a service that makes money to be making money. Yo, did someone rickroll us? Somebody did. Nice. Okay. So it is prone to becoming corrupt. And I don't know anything from looking at that website. I can't tell you if this guy is legit or not legit. I can tell you that it's almost always not worth spending $1,000 or more on a course like this. Let's look more into it. How much is this guy's service? Okay. Let's see. I guess I can take my cynical hat off and okay, how to quit your job, build your okay. A book. Okay, lots of copy. A book. So what's his thing? He's just selling a book, but it's free. Okay. Best students. Okay, so it looks like he has some kind of products. Here we go. There's a free book, which almost certainly means there's a paid course. Let's see. Freedom Formula. Hardcover. Oh, hardcover books. So not a free book. Maybe that's his thing. He's just trying to get you to buy the book. Nah, it's got to be more than that. There's got to be a course. Ah, there we go. $1,000 course. Boom. Found it. All right. Sigh. I don't know what to tell you guys, because it's not like it's impossible that these things work, but the reality is $1,000 is a lot of money, and most of his clients are probably more desperate people. I don't know. That's so tricky. It's so tricky to know whether that's real or not. I mean, worth it or not. Well, okay, no, it's not worth $1,000. But here's the thing: for the people that works for and it's worth it, these are people who need to spend money, and then they need to make that money, they need to make it feel like it was worth the money, so then you do stuff and you pay attention and you learn. That ultimately is why it's valuable. Not because you're going to learn something worth $1,000. There are almost no courses worth $1,000 that are actually worth the money alone. Yeah, no. Especially considering, okay, you get every course on Skillshare for free. You get everything on YouTube for free. You can get almost any course on Udemy for free if you just literally go to course websites. Look, I'll show you. I'm a Udemy teacher, but I'll maintain my what's the word? Credibility? No. Authenticity? Here you go. Look, I'm gonna show you how to find a free Udemy course, and I'll use my course as an example. Let's see. What's the name of my dropshipping course? I don't even remember. Back to courses. The name of my retail arbitrage companion course. What is it again? eBay dropshipping companion course. Okay, so if I go to Google and I search for eBay dropshipping companion course. All right, let's see. Short course portal. Here's one. Free courses. Here's another one. Here's another one. Okay, look. 4 links to... Is this a free course? It actually has the Udemy logo. Huh. Okay, no, this is just a database of courses. Here is a poached version. And here is also a poached version. Yes, here is a poached version. And here's another one. It's very easy to find free Udemy courses, free YouTube information. You should never spend $1,000 on a course. I'm not saying that it isn't useful, but again, if it is useful to you, it's not because of the information that you get for $1,000. It's because of what spending $1,000 does to you, what it makes you feel like. It makes you feel like you gotta make it worth it. You gotta make that expense worth the effort. You have to put time into it. You have to put effort into it because you spent $1,000 on it, okay? That's the reason that it may be beneficial. There's nothing that person can teach you that isn't available online for free or for way cheaper than $1,000. So keep that in mind. Would you be in a position where, okay, with some hand-holding, and if you spend $1,000, then that effort, that energy, that's what you want? You want to spend money and then feel like you have to do it? Then maybe that's a good option for you. But most of the time, these courses are not. They're $1,000, and the vast majority of the students never follow through with it or even finish the end result. And also keep in mind, like whenever you're learning from somebody, you have to know their incentives, okay? If you have a course for sale for $1,000, that alone is a business model that will earn you way more than whatever it is that you're doing that you're teaching people. That's real. And I want to tell you it's not, and I want to tell you that there's a bunch of courses that are actually worth the money, but I'm not confident in that. I can't tell you that and feel like I'm maintaining my integrity because the information isn't worth $1,000. Information is everywhere. You can find it all over the place on YouTube, on Udemy, on Skillshare. There's loads of information. You're better off taking 30 different short courses on Skillshare or watching 30 different YouTube videos about the specific subject that you're trying to learn than spending $1,000. $1,000 is so much money. You realize you could come to Nicaragua and you could live here for 60 days with that much money, spending every day doing whatever studying or whatever it is that you want to do. There's so many other things you could do with $1,000. I think you'd be better off buying $1,000 worth of Bitcoin, you know? Because at least that way, even if you lose a bunch of it, at least it has the chance. You're more likely to be better off and that money make you money if you spend $1,000 on Bitcoin than $1,000 on the course. So this is what you should do. you should, instead of getting that guy's course, you should drop $1,000 in Bitcoin, forget about it, and then take 30 YouTube courses about whatever it is you're trying to learn. You'd probably be better off. You'd learn more, and you'd probably profit more, because inevitably that's going to be worth something in like 10 or 20 years, right? Anyway, I have ranted too much about courses. Sorry, you touched on a raw nerve there, because there are so many people. And like, I don't know this guy, but immediately looking at the website, I know his type, right? And he could be a more honest type, or he could be a more sleazy type. But that kind of course sales it inevitably leads you down like a route of corruption, because you become detached from actually getting the most out of your students, and you become highly incentivized to figure out how you can convince people to pay you $1,000. And that's what the whole business model is around, you getting that $1,000, right? So you have 2 points here, where you can have the more honest, integral person who still is using this business model, where he's become less interested in how his students are actually performing, more interested in getting them that $1,000. But say he gets a message from somebody, and they're like, "Hey, it's been 2 days, and I really regret this purchase. I don't feel good about it." He's going to give him a refund, right? He's integral. There are people like that. However, there's also a bunch of them who don't give a crap in the moment. They will literally tell you, "Oh yeah, we got a 80-day 90-day warranty, money back guarantee, no problems." And then you give them the $1,000, they're gone. Like, that's also completely real. Like, there is a whole model where everything they do is trying to get you to feel comfortable to make that first payment, and they don't give a crap about after that. There are courses like this that have the exact same model. They have some nice fancy landing page with a bunch of fancy photos, really like professional looking, good website, really like high production value, and then you pay for a course and you get 7 free YouTube videos. It's like, that's an experience people have, okay? Okay, I need to move on. Done with this rant. Okay. Oklahoma says, what other program would you recommend that is pretty affordable? So again, I'm out of touch with this. But in general, the most affordable dropshipping software is SkuGrid, because it doesn't use an API connection, and you can control like how often you're using the tool. So it's based on your usage instead of like a set monthly fee, if that makes sense. So the way SkuGrid works is it helps you maintain a CSV database, which you then upload to eBay via file exchange. That CSV database allows you to change the quantity and pricing of all your items and post and delete items. So you can essentially do anything to an eBay store from a CSV file uploaded to file exchange, and you're going to be able to like have all the perks of an API connection without actually connecting to the API. And in general, it's going to be cheaper to do it this way. There you go. Okay, I believe SkuGrid is probably the cheapest option, because historically it's almost always been the cheapest and a little bit sketchy option. But now they don't even connect to the eBay API, so there's no way for you to get in trouble with eBay for using them. It literally is a tool that makes spreadsheets, and then you're just uploading spreadsheets to eBay. You can't get in trouble for that unless you do something wrong in the spreadsheet, post an item that you're not supposed to post. Those kind of things can still get you in trouble, but you can't like get in trouble for using the tool, if that makes sense, because it's just a spreadsheet. eBay can't see what you used to create the CSV file. They just see a CSV file. Make sense? Okay. Next. Next, we have Broing claimed credit to the Rickroll. So I guess I should, there we go, look at that. Yep. Jeez, dude! You don't need to Rickroll someone like 6 times. You can just do it once. Once is fine. All right. Tino says, I'm taking your Udemy course for dropshipping. Do you have any other courses in regards to dropshipping? Hey, and someone likes the shirt. Thank you. I actually don't have any other courses. I do recommend, so if you want something more kind of up to date that I think is an actual like credible instructor, I recommend Paul Lipsky. I can show you his YouTube channel real quick. Paul Lipsky. Here we go. So if you actually like want to invest in learning something, I encourage you to follow Paul. As far as I understand, he is one of the more legit people who actually seriously wants to teach people to dropship. He has like a level of dedication to that I certainly don't have. I like giving people information, and I like making things more accessible. But I don't like holding people's hands and answering all of their questions so that they don't have to. Like for me, like I'm happy to put this information closer to you, but you still have to interact with it. You still have to learn from it, okay? Paul's not like that. He's very like, he wants to hold your hand and guide you. And like say that you buy his course and you're not happy with it after a couple days and you want a refund, he's probably going to give you a refund. He's a pretty honest guy as far as I know. Every time I've talked to him, he's been quite sincere. He's given good customer service to his students. He has a good reputation. And his course isn't ridiculously expensive. It's like $500 or something like that. But to be honest with you, you don't have to buy the course to benefit from his information. And that's another thing. Like if you just get on his email list, I think you can do that. Go to his YouTube channel and subscribe, and then watch a couple of his videos as he puts them out. And he'll probably talk about an email list or some kind of sign up. Maybe there's also like a free trial somewhere. But he's solid. And like if you get on his email list, the emails he sends out are actually useful. He's a really good example of how you should use an email list, because every email that I've ever gotten from him teaches me something specific. Like there was a point where I was still making YouTube videos about dropshipping, and I would find Paul's emails to be so beneficial. Why do I think I'm saying that wrong? Beneficial. I'm in Spanish mode. Yeah. I would find his emails to be so beneficial that I would use them as inspiration for content for my videos. So don't think that you just have to buy his course. You can also just sign up for his free content and get his email lists, because normally when there's like a latest problem, he'll come up with a solution and push it out to his email list. So you can learn things from him even if you don't buy his course. And that's something that I really encourage you guys to pay attention to, because that's not true for a lot of people. In general, most of these course sellers, they're going to be holding information from you, and they will give you something that seems valuable, but really what they're doing is playing on your emotions, trying to get you emotional, trying to get you hyped, trying to get you to feel like you want to change your life and grab that, and then they offer something that appears like that to you and charge you $1,000 for it. So I would go with Paul's content. I trust him. Yeah. There you go. I got to remember not to frickin' rant about course people. I've already done that enough. Okay, so that was B. Tino's question. Workhorse said, awesome shirt. Thank you. I love Pink Floyd. They're great. I like Paramore more, actually. Paramore is like my favorite band. I also have a Paramore shirt that's black, by the way. Anyway. Broing said to check out the Discord, Jack, because he wants everybody to be rickrolled. Nice. Good job. Congrats. You rickrolled us. Then ANS SSS says, Jack, do you recommend anyone saying PayPal? Do you recommend anyone selling PayPal accounts with transaction history? No. I don't know anybody who does that. I don't know anything about selling PayPal accounts. Unfortunately. It's tricky. PayPal's kind of like a bank. It's one thing buying an eBay account, but if you're buying like fake PayPal accounts and it's easier. Okay, if you're just drop shipping, you're just using eBay, even if you're screwing around, the chance of you getting in trouble or doing something actually illegal is quite unlikely. However, if you're dabbling with like fake PayPal accounts, it's more probable that you get out of the gray zone and into the actually illegal zone. You got to be careful. Then again, as an international, you don't have a whole lot of risk in the first place. It's tricky. Anyway, okay. Where's Bray? He usually joins by now. The whole thing was to talk about that course. I don't know what we gotta do now. Okay, general. I guess I can't really message him. Well, anybody want me to rant about something, or anyone want to talk about something in particular?
Let's talk about the shirt first.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, let's talk about the shirt. Where did you get it, though?
Hey, it's
It's
Axel,
awesome.
right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay, sorry,
That's still my name.
I couldn't tell where the audio was coming from. It's good to hear from you, man.
Good to hear from you, Steve-O. And good afternoon, good evening, good morning to anyone who's listening up tonight and who's going to be listening in the future. Now, again, where did that shirt came from? Who gave it to you, man? It's awesome.
Oh, this?
Do you know that band?
Yeah.
Do you know that I recently, if you recall, Jack, of course, everyone is eager to listen to what I have to say, of course. They're eager to listen. Being sarcastic. Anyways, if you will notice, I just recently changed the image of my my Gmail and my YouTube channel. I changed it to that shirt. That's the most popular album made by Pink Floyd. That's called Dark Side of the Moon. If you'll get a chance to check my comments, the comment section, you'll see the image.
I can actually show it. 1 second. Wait, so
no,
where
no,
did
I mean
you put this?
the image that I use on my YouTube account and the Gmail. If you can recall, it used to be a smiley face, right?
Yeah. Oh, gotcha.
Now,
so you're just saying that you changed the icon to this shirt, and it's a coincidence because I'm also wearing this shirt. Gotcha.
No, Jack. I swear. No, Jack. I swear on my family. I just changed it. Yes, last night. I just changed it last night.
Gotcha.
And then the first time that I gotten the courage to be on a YouTube channel, I saw you wearing that shirt.
That's funny.
What's your favorite song from them?
Hi. Is that question directed to Jack Pittman?
No, it's to you.
Bleed. Bleed in the air. Oh, Pink Floyd, this is so awesome. Anyways, I'll give you the floor, ma'am. I think you have.
It's called Bleed or Breathe.
Bleed. Inhale, exhale, bleed.
Okay, gotcha. Nice. I'll check that out later. I've heard most Pink Floyd music.
You still haven't answered my question, bro. It's sorry to cut you off. You still haven't answered my question. Where did you get that, bro? I need to know.
I don't actually know. I just acquired it at some point. I found it in my wardrobe. It was probably like an ex-girlfriend's or a friend's or something, and I honestly couldn't tell you. I never went out and purchased this. I just found it in my belongings one day.
Of all the day that you could wear that shirt, you wore it on my YouTube debut. So and I just recently changed my smiley face that I had for like 3 years, the smiley face icon, just last night to that specific album. So I think you're destined to be great, Jack. That's all I can say.
So tell us about your YouTube channel. You said debut, so you just started it.
Nah, my debut on your channel, I mean. Your awesome channel.
Okay, gotcha.
This is his debut.
I see. Right now, this is because you're talking and you're on YouTube because it's a live stream. I get it.
Jackster, who's still on the other line? Ma'am, may I have your name?
My name's Rita. Rita. I go by Dog Sitter Life.
Dog. I think I'd rather call you Rita. Hi, Rita. Where are you from?
Rita with a T. Rita.
Yeah, Rita. Rita, yep. Where are we from?
I'm from California.
California, land of the palm trees and stuff, right?
Where are you from? Where are you from?
The Philippines. Manny
Ah,
Pacquiao. Ever heard of him?
no.
Of course you don't.
He's a famous fighter, I think, right?
Oh.
A boxer.
Yes, yes, I recognized a famous. I don't live under a rock. I know about politics.
Yeah. Anyways, Viva, it's a pleasure to meet you, ma'am.
It's what's your first language? Tagalog or something different?
Tagalog, yeah. How did you know? How did you know that
Oh, we got a lot of Filipinos in California.
a lot of Filipinos everywhere I see? And the
But
Filipinos in the... Oh, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, but your accent sounds different than the Filipinos that I know here.
Well, I'm doing my best to impersonate Jack's accent. No, kidding. I'm kidding. Because Jack talks like this. You have to talk, and then you're gonna go way high if you want to enunciate something. No, kidding. Sorry, Jackster. I'll give you guys the floor.
So just so you know, Axel's. I used to work with Axel and Ale. So Ale joins sometimes, but back when bulk was a thing, these were the individuals who were part of my team. So there's some backstory.
Still part of Jack Pittman, Team Jack forever, man.
So I want to comment on. There were a couple comments. So I want to talk about Workhorse's comment, because he said dropshipping is not allowed on eBay unless you have purchased the stock before you list it. You must be able to prove this as well. Sorry, but this is a fact. We're going to talk about that. Also going to talk about Beatino's comment, why Nicaragua? Somebody said, are you Dropsit Central? I think they were talking to someone else. But yeah, these are the two comments that I want to talk about real quick. So first, let's talk about the dropshipping thing. So Workhorse said dropshipping is not allowed on eBay unless you have purchased the stock before you list it. You must also be able to prove this. Sorry, but this is a fact. That's not actually true. Dropshipping itself isn't banned on eBay. Specifically, what is banned on eBay is dropshipping using retailers. So anytime you can just go to a website and order something to a house, you're not allowed to dropship from that place. However, say that you have a traditional dropshipping setup, which eBay endorses and allows. This is what that looks like. You're a seller. You're already selling things physically. You start buying some wholesale product. After developing a reputation with the wholesaler you're selling from, you set up a dropshipping agreement with them where instead of having to buy stuff ahead of time, you can just send them an address and they'll ship it out to the customer. eBay's okay with that. They allow that. It is not against their policy. You do have to be able to prove it, just like he said, but it's important that you understand dropshipping itself isn't against eBay policy. Dropshipping from retailers is against eBay policy. And that's specifically because you are advertising their competitors. Anytime you dropship something from Amazon, a customer goes to eBay and then gets a box from Amazon and is like, Amazon's better. It was cheaper and it was faster. eBay doesn't like that, right? That's why they're against that. But you can still dropship on eBay. It's just not retail arbitrage dropshipping. So I want to make that clear, because it's not accurate to tell people dropshipping isn't allowed on eBay. That's not true. It is true to say retail arbitrage dropshipping isn't allowed on eBay. Okay? Just want to make that clear. Next thing is why Nicaragua? So I'm assuming that's like, why do I live in Nicaragua? And that is sort of a coincidence. Like, okay, I chose to stay here because of the cost of living and because I met a bunch of really awesome, amazing people, and I have a great life here. I'm super happy. But that's not, I didn't come here expecting that would happen. I came here because of an individual. His name's Marcus Augustine. He runs this channel, No BS Dropshipping. So I do not communicate or associate with Mark anymore. But there was a point in the past where he hosted an event called Grind Camp. and 20 or so people were invited from all over the world to live in one place for 30 days for free. And I was actually, I wasn't one of those 20 people. I got invited like on the side along with another YouTuber. But all of these people worked from laptops. So the idea is like you live with a bunch of people who work from laptops, and you learn and you network and you motivate each other and that kind of thing, right? So I came here, and I, at the time, was a barista at Starbucks. So I couldn't just disappear from that. I could get 2 weeks off. And it was actually funny because I didn't have 2 weeks off, right? Like I was in a position where I couldn't get that coverage. But very coincidentally, one of my friends who was on LSD at the time had just taken 2 weeks off of Starbucks. And he was literally like, Jack, you got to go to Nicaragua. I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to cover all your shifts so you can go to Nicaragua and participate in grind camp. So I did. But seriously, it was this close to not happening. If he hadn't been on that drug, and if he hadn't have just coincidentally happened to request 2 weeks off the exact time that I was supposed to be in grind camp, I would have not gone. Which is crazy to me right now, because that led to me being in Nicaragua, and all of my preconceptions about Latin America got completely shattered. Not all of them, but a lot of them. For example, I thought, okay, paying somebody $4 an hour? $4 an hour? That's nothing, right? That's what I thought. I thought it was abusive to pay somebody $4 an hour. But I saw that was actually my American mentality being ignorant. Because the reality is there are some places in the world, actually a lot of places in the world, where $4 an hour is plenty of money to live. Even like $5 an hour, you're getting into the raise a family range of pay. $6? $8? Dang, you're rich, wealthy. Like, that is insane to me, right? And that's the reality of Nicaragua, the Philippines, Morocco, like tons of countries. Honestly, more countries than not. The problem is that most of us from these like fancy developed countries, like in Europe, and not even all of Europe, but like in Eastern Europe. Eastern Europe's less developed, so it's more like Nicaragua. The cost of living is really low, whereas Western Europe is more expensive. In general, not always, but in general, right? And the U.S., people from these countries are kind of spoiled because there's so much money that you think that you have to have so much money to live, but the reality is you are consuming every day the amount of resources that somebody could get by with in like 2 or 4 weeks in another country. Like in the US, $500 a month isn't enough money to live in a lot of places. $500 a month is $6,000 a year. That is below poverty. Poverty is like $11,000 or something like that on the federal level, right? It varies depending on state. But you can be in poverty in the US and be upper middle class here. Like, I don't earn much money. I earn like between like $800 and $1,200 a month. It varies a lot, to be honest. Like, there's some months where maybe it'll be like $400 and other months where it's like $1,500, right? Varies a lot. But that being said, in the US, I'm in poverty. Here in Nicaragua, I can do anything I want every day. I don't have to worry about whether I'm going to be able to pay my rent. I don't have to worry about whether I'm going to be able to get food. If I have a bunch of friends and I want to treat all of them to lunch, I can do it, and it costs like $40. It's not a big deal at all, right? And that's all because of changing the location. And Nicaragua is just one example. It's not like Nicaragua is unique in that way. There are loads of countries that you can go to where the cost of living is so low. It's insane. It's like a curse almost. Anytime I've seen an American come to Nicaragua and then experience that, you get cursed. Because then you go back to the US and you see how far the money went in Nicaragua. You remember how much food it bought, how many people you interacted with, how much alcohol in some cases, right? Like here you can reliably find beer or even like liquor, mixed drinks, that kind of thing, for 50 cents to $2. And $2 being pricey. There are even places you go in like the party areas where you get literally free alcohol just for entering. Okay, that's like a reality here. It's normal. And I personally don't care a whole lot about that, but there are plenty of people who really do, right? So for me, I ended up in Nicaragua because of Mark. And I don't really want to admit that because I don't like Mark as a person. He's an asshole. That being said, he did influence me in a really good way. So I'm not going to say like Mark just does bad things because he does share a lot of information. But his worldview is super crappy. He's really miserable, depressed, and not fun to be around in that way. So that's why I've separated myself from him. But that being said, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be in this country. I wouldn't have had the courage to just go to some random country because logically, I know it's cheaper. But once I had already been to Nicaragua, it was all over, essentially. I went back to the States a couple times, but ultimately, I'm much happier here. And I think one of the reasons for that, it's not as easy for everyone else to do what I did. But because I was raised a foreigner, I've never been from the country I live in. Even when I'm in the US, I'm called an English person. When I'm in England, I'm called an American. I was born in Sri Lanka. I lived in Saudi Arabia. I lived in Africa. I'm always a different person, always a foreigner. So for me, being here isn't any different. It's normal for me. Whereas for other people, if you've spent your whole life in the United States, you're going to experience a heavier culture shock than I do. So just keep that in mind. Like, I'm not saying that what happened to me will happen to everybody. I was able to immerse and localize and meet locals and develop a friend group really, really fast. That's mostly because of YouTube and the fact that I've been a foreigner my whole life, so I didn't feel like I was in a different place. I felt like I was at home because my home is traveling and being a foreigner in a new country. Not being able to hear everything around you because you don't understand, you don't know what people are saying. I love that feeling. It feels like home. I want to go buy groceries and not be able to completely understand everything. And especially if there's multiple languages being spoken, like, oh man, I love that. That's my childhood. Not the same for most people, right? So I understand that. Then Bettino asked, did you have any other places in mind? And at the time, yeah. At the time, I was thinking about Thailand. That's the place that I wanted to go, essentially, because of all these reasons that I'm talking about. Cheaper cost of living, meeting other people, beautiful views, yada yada. I was thinking about Thailand. But then I came to Nicaragua and I saw that Nicaragua had those answers. And the advantage for Nicaragua is that I have a lot of friends and family in the US. I don't want to live in the US, but I do want to visit there sometimes. And if I'm in Nicaragua, it costs me like $290, $300 for a round-away ticket to the US and back here. Whereas if I was in Thailand, I wouldn't be able to easily come to the US and back. That's like 3 of those tickets, or 2 or 3 of them. So it's better for me to be closer to the US, but not in it. And also, there's other reasons that I think that I can play an important role here. Like, I feel like I have a purpose. My purpose is to bring online income information to people in Latin America who have loads of free time or struggling to find work and want to improve their lives. I think that I can be a catalyst for that shows them what they don't even realize is possible right now. Whereas in the US, I don't feel like I'm valuable because the reality is that, yeah, it's hard to find jobs sometimes in the US, but really if you just stick with it and you're persistent, you can find a good situation in the US. You can find something that pays really well. It's hard in the US to earn money online and do it for a full-time living. That's legitimately hard. It's way easier to do in Nicaragua. And so for that reason, I'm pretty sure that I feel more valuable to people here because I think it's more realistic that I could actually give someone information that they use to become a self-employed person. Because here you only need $400, $500 a month, and that's life-changing money. Maybe not quit your job money, but life-changing. Like provide, go on vacations, get something you really couldn't have afforded, get some kind of intense medical treatment you couldn't afford. Like that much money can allow you to do that here. Whereas in the US, it's barely even rent. So like, I'm just a more valuable person here. I feel more valuable, therefore I do more valuable things, right? So yeah, I had Thailand in mind, but after all this experience, I'm completely set on Nicaragua. Even with the political circumstances and uncertainties, as a person, I don't feel very bothered by these things. I think probably because of the death in my childhood, I've kind of accepted that, this is a reality, it's part of our lives, and that no matter where you are, you could be in danger if you make decisions that lead you to be in a dangerous place. Like when I left Reston in the U.S., people think of Reston and the United States as a safe place. 2 weeks after I left, someone got shot in the neighborhood I was living in, like one neighborhood down. Shit happens, Now I'm looking at other comments. Feel free if anyone wants to make a comment or anything. This is really lecturing.
Hey, Jack.
What's up, Rita?
Pardon me, Jack. I just was looking. I've been having to get off and on the call for various reasons, but I saw a note from Braylon saying he's not going to make this one, but he'll be on the next one.
Okay. Good to know. Did you send it in Discord?
It was kind of buried under all the... Huh? It was buried under all the Rickroll. I could hardly get back on the call because there was so many Rickroll posts.
Oh, man.
I had to scroll way back up, so I put a new one in case anybody else needs it. Oh.
Yeah, I see that now. Oh, I gotta talk to Broing. So Bray said that he wasn't gonna be here, but because you rickrolled all of us so many times, I didn't see his message. So I'm gonna have to ask Broing that you refrain from posting a bunch of bullshit in the general chat, because it causes people to not notice actual important stuff. Okay, but I'll talk to him anyway. It doesn't matter. I don't know if he's here anymore. Yo, there's so many comments. I'm blown by this. This is weird. Dumpster Diver Dad says hello. I'm reading the chat, guys.
I hope Dumpster Diver Dad will come in the Zoom room sometime and tell us about his adventures.
Yeah.
Dumpster diving.
Yeah, it's surprising. This call is a good example of the kind of levels people are willing to put themselves out there. Because on the most basic level, you have joins the Discord chat, but that's it. Doesn't do anything else, doesn't comment, doesn't participate in these calls, and maybe watches the live stream. I'd say these two are like the base levels of integration, involvement, I guess, right? And then you have a step further than that, where they actually post a comment, right? Like they comment in the Discord chat, or maybe in the live stream, they join it, but they don't share their face or their voice. Then you have people who are comfortable showing their voice. And then you have people who are comfortable showing their face. And then you have people who are comfortable showing their face and talking. And that's kind of the highest engagement, right? And so one of my goals here is to provide an environment where people can get the experience necessary to get comfortable enough to show their faces and to talk, right? Because, I don't really want to be ranting here individually for an hour. I don't mind it, but I prefer when, there's other people bringing problems and questions, and they're showing their face and they're talking, and we have a community thing going on. And that's why I'm sad Bray's not here. But I understand because it's the holidays, so it makes sense. People have lives and families and stuff.
He said he just got back from California, or back to California, I guess.
Yeah. So, what do you think?
Hi, boss.
What's up, Axel?
Yeah, boss. Sorry to cut you off. So right now I have Zoom on my desktop. I have your YouTube channel, and I also have this, whatchamacallit,
Discord?
Discord, yeah. So how do you go about this, Jack? Um, Kind of confusing setup. How do you the t with a t? What do you usually have on your screen? Do you just focus on the Discord because there's a bunch of chats happening on the channel? Kind of confusing
I
user
just, I
interface.
just, yeah, I just use Zoom to get the link, and then I'm sorry, I said that wrong. I use Discord to get the link to the Zoom room, and then I don't worry about Discord anymore, and I just stay in the Zoom room because I don't have to, it's Jack's responsibility, I guess, to go and look at the chat on
Yeah.
YouTube, but it's not mine, so I don't worry about YouTube.
And that's what I expect for reference, Axel. Like the goal is to get people to participate in the call and show their faces and ask questions and be involved and show up regularly. Right now our balance is kind of thrown off because some of the regular people we have aren't here. Rita is the only regular who's here right now. Usually it's Rita, Bray, and occasionally B. But again, that's kind of one of the things with this being a free call is that people are much less likely to continuously come because they haven't like given something up to enable them to come. But that being said, I'm probably never going to charge for it. I really like the format of this, and I also like seeing how people like participate, drop off, that kind of thing. It's interesting. But basically, Axel, if you're in the call, this is all that you need. You don't need to be looking at the Discord chat. You don't need to be looking at the YouTube thing. Because I'm the host, I will have the YouTube chat on my phone so that I can respond to comments and that kind of thing. But as a participant, that you're only expected to be in the Zoom room. That's it. Like if you want to look at the YouTube thing, that's fine. And the Discord is more of a way to communicate so that we can have these calls. Like if the call is going to be delayed or it's not happening, I message everyone in the Discord so that they can know. The Discord is... Thank you. Broing says no more Rickroll in general, except he spelt it Rickroll on Grengal. But I understand. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's great. But yeah, the Discord is just to organize for these calls. Once the call happens, like my priority is talking to the people who are in the call in some way. I prefer if people show their faces because like it doesn't matter what you look like. You have the same insecurities that everybody else has, and the only way to get over that is to continuously show your face.
With regards to that, Jack, you could tell them how insecure I was on talking on YouTube, on doing this. Please feel free to tell them that it took me this fucking long for me to get my cringy voice on YouTube. Tell them, man.
I mean, you tell us. Why did it take so long?
Because I was insecure. I'm thinking, they're gonna hate my voice and they're gonna hate my face. But you know what, guys? If there's one thing I learned from Pittman, is that fuck it. Who cares what they think about? Fuck them. You just do your thing. Just do your thing. Just talk. Leela, I'm telling you, I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do YouTube. I'm not gonna do YouTube. I'm just gonna comment here and there because I'm afraid. And Jack was like, Axel, fuck it. You get your ass, you get your face in front of YouTube, and you just talk. Just talk about anything. No one's gonna shoot you. No one's gonna do anything.
Well, sometimes you will feel like you're getting shot, but yeah, you're gonna be fine. Go on your head.
Leela, I see that we have another person on the group. I just see his Galaxy S9.
Oh
hi.
yeah, who is that? Hello,
Hi,
Galaxy
S9. Hi, bro, or sis, or like I said, look at how cringy my voice is. I doubt that your voice is much cringier than my voice.
No, it's fine. It's fine. You're being silly. If our voices all sounded the same, we couldn't tell each other apart.
It's true.
Well, I'll take that.
I like when you said this. I like when you said the thing I learned from Jack is fuck it. I thought that was pretty funny. If there's one thing I learned from Jack, it's fuck it.
It feels nice to say it, Leva. It feels nice to say it. You go ahead and take over, bro.
Your voice is fine. Take over, Jack, he said.
Yeah, no, I know, and I'm struggling to come up with. There are things I want to do. I like us picking a course and then going through and doing that course. I think that's a cool thing. But I don't know. So far,
I like it too.
It's cool when we do it and then meet and talk about it. And so far, that hasn't. I mean, that happened like once. So
I don't know if you've seen my comment, guys. Have you seen that CoffeeZilla channel? Basically, that's all he does. All he does is buy a course and expose the fuck out of the course, like every kinks on the course. And from his very recent video, he's getting lawsuits up the ass because of him doing so.
what's it called again?
That's funny.
I'm gonna paste the link in the comment section. No, that's
a
different
YouTube
link.
channel.
CoffeeZilla, yeah.
CoffeeZilla.
I posted it on the Jack. You gotta hit this guy up, man. You gotta hook with this guy up. I'm telling you, he's like you but on steroids. He's like Jack Pickman on steroids, basically.
I remember this guy.
Wow, that's saying something.
Well,
wow,
that's
like Jack on steroids. That's high energy.
So I want to make a distinction here. The courses that we're taking are typically just like regular Skillshare courses because we can get free access to them. We're not he specifically takes the kind of course that I was ranting about for the first 30 minutes of this live stream. He finds the really expensive people.
The $1,000 courses.
Yeah, and figures out if they are worth it or if they're bullshit, and then does videos about it. So that just wanted to point out that would be different here because I have no interest in spending money at all. I want to just learn stuff.
Me neither.
Yeah. So.
I'm not, and then the guy's getting sued too, so that's pretty expensive.
Well, I don't know if he's
like
actually getting sued. Axel may have just been.
He's got what he calls a liability care of those kind of expenses, so he knows what he's doing. Guy's smart.
That's good.
Oh, he has a video that's thumbnail is cease and desist. Kevin David. Interesting. Supposedly Kevin David sues people a lot. Cool. I don't like these people. All right, guys. I think I'll probably... Do you guys want to talk about anything? Normally we'll have more structure, but it's like holidays and the end of the season. And my mom just called me, so I want to call her back.
Do we want to take another course?
Do you want to set one up? We can pick one.
I was kind of wondering if we could take a... I got to get into Skillshare, but maybe we could take a day trading course. And that way we would know what the hell Bray is talking about. Because I don't even know what he's talking about sometimes.
Yeah, sure, if you want to.
Yeah, let me pull up Skillshare. I guess it's an app, right? Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, they have an app. I have the website in the background right now of the live stream. Whoa.
I'm just gonna...
Is this Bray's? What's Bray's last name?
Oh my gosh! That's him. Braylon Pinckney. Well, I guess we better take this one. Then he can. Then if we have questions, we'll have access.
Wait,
to the teacher?
Is that him?
It is. I recognize his last name. I didn't even know he had a course. Did we know he had a course?
I think he had mentioned it. Wait, does he have a course on... It makes sense because he's a YouTube channel. But why is it on Skillshare? I'm looking at Udemy right now. I want there to be a course by him on Udemy. No, I don't want to find my courses. I want to search for other people's.
I'm going to have to get your cheat. Can you put that cheat for getting free Skillshare classes in the Discord chat or on YouTube or something?
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that. I need to do that because this one is under. You have to have a premium account.
Wait, was the other one not a premium? It was an actual free course?
I guess not.
Huh. I didn't
I
know
think
those
so. Yeah,
existed.
that's the last one. Yeah.
I think I can just give you my login info. I think. So you can do the free thing,
Okay.
but the way that works is that you have to sign up, and you're gonna put in a credit card number, and then after 60 days you would get charged for 1 month. So you would just have to remember to cancel it, like as soon as you sign up, basically. And you can just keep redoing that.
I don't even mind paying for it as long as it. I don't want to pay all at once, though. I want to pay monthly.
Yeah. Just make sure you pay attention when you sign up.
Yeah.
I think I can actually, one second, if I go to my refer a friend. Yeah, here we go. Here's a referral link. I put it in the Discord chat. It's just
cool.
to join Skillshare. So if you haven't already activated it, I think you'll click on that, and then that'll get you 60 days, but you have to give your credit card info in order to activate that. And just make sure there's going to be a point where it shows you 2 monthly numbers, and one is like $9 and one is like $14. Click the $14.99 one, not the $9 one, because that's actually
because the other one.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
know,
it says
you know
annual.
what I'm talking about. Yeah.
And and I can see it here, and they cover up the word annual with this other sort of banner thing, so you can't really see it.
Yeah, it's
So
either
it's really tricky how they do
really
it.
dumb or sleazy. I don't know which one.
Yeah, I think I'm going with sleazy.
Why does he have a course on Skillshare but not on Udemy? That's so weird to me. I didn't realize that. I think I knew he had a course, but for some reason I didn't. And he shows up as number 1 too. If you search on Skillshare and you search for day trading, his course is the first one.
How did he manage that? We got to find out his secret.
He's also
Maybe
got
it's
like
just the most recent.
way more students than most of these other courses.
Interesting.
Oh, I wish his course was on Udemy. Damn.
Well, you think why do you want it to be on Udemy?
Because it doesn't matter that he has a
anymore?
successful teacher course on Skillshare. Yeah, Skillshare pays you so little unless you're bringing people to their platform. They pay you 5 cents on average per minute watched. So if somebody watches 10 minutes, you get 50 cents. If they watch 20 minutes, you get $1. If they watch an hour of your course, you get $3. It's like nothing. And you can earn really good money if you're referring people, but you're also way more likely to get banned, just like I did. So I'm just sad because if he had a course on Udemy and it had 1,000 students and it was a paid course, that would actually be like income. Whereas 1,000 students on Skillshare isn't really income unless you're referring people.
Is it? So how difficult is the process of getting a course onto Udemy?
It's easy. It's no harder than Skillshare. I'd say because both of them have like a quality assessment thing when you post your first course. Once you posted multiple courses, then you can it's actually easy, too easy to publish courses because they won't really review your courses properly. But the first one you publish, they're going to look at your audio levels and your video and make sure that they're acceptable. And then they'll see if the topic is acceptable. Skillshare is way more picky about the topics than Udemy. Udemy, you can essentially have a course about almost anything. Whereas on Skillshare, you're not allowed to talk about sex or relationships or drop shipping, and some other things as well.
Huh. Interesting. Oh boy. Okay. Well, so
Jack, can I
let's take break.
Go on, Axel.
Let's take break. Oh, go
yes.
ahead. Axel.
Sorry, Rita. Sorry to cut you off. I just want to ask Jack a question.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. From what I understand, people create courses and they upload their courses on Udemy for the traffic. Am I right, Jack? The same reason that people upload their stuff on eBay. I mean, sorry
For
for
traffic.
my English grammar. People post on their people post whatever that they want to sell on eBay because they figure, hey, the traffic go eBay. I have stuff to sell, and for people to be able to view what I have to sell, I'm gonna post it on eBay because all the traffic is there. That's the same reason why people post their courses on Udemy, right, Jack? The traffic.
Yeah. So not. It's a bit misleading to think that all people use Udemy for the same reason, because that's not true. Basically, you have people who create courses to be a Udemy teacher, so they're creating a course specifically for Udemy. Then you have people who have courses already and are just using Udemy as another place for their same course to exist. These typically are much lower quality in general. That's a thing. So don't think that these people are the same, because there's people who focus on Udemy, they interact with their students, they talk more, and then there's people who have a course and they just post it on Udemy just because it's another place that people can buy their course, but they're not actually like interested in Udemy as a platform. Does that make sense?
Kinda. So basically, you're saying is what you call, Jack, a Udemy instructor?
Say it again.
You use a term. I believe it's called a Udemy instructor.
Yeah.
What is a Udemy instructor?
A
What's
Udemy
the definition?
instructor is somebody who has courses on Udemy that they sell. That's it. So I guess it would be a bit different. It also means that you kind of focus on Udemy as a platform. For example, like, say that you have a course, you have your website, you sell it on Udemy, you have it on YouTube, and you have it on Skillshare in some way, and you have something else. I wouldn't necessarily say you're a Udemy instructor, whereas you are an online teacher. If you consider yourself a Udemy instructor, it means that you're interested in gaining a reputation on Udemy as a platform. You have some level of focus on Udemy. But it's not like a factual definition. That's just how I use the phrase. That isn't necessarily going to mean the same thing for everybody.
Interesting.
But yeah, the main draw to Udemy is that it brings you traffic. So you don't have to... Okay, it's tricky because you don't have to market, but ultimately, even though Udemy brings you traffic, you still have to market. It just means that you can market in the beginning and develop momentum, and then Udemy will keep marketing because of your momentum, and you can slow down. But you still have to market. Like, you can't be a course instructor and ignore marketing. You can try that, but it's probably not going to work. You have to be able to market your course effectively. And unfortunately, your ability to market your course effectively is more determinant to your success than the actual quality of the course. Basically, if you're a good marketer and you have few competition, you can make a lot of money off of a really crappy course. Course quality...
I'm wondering.
Go on.
I'm wondering if the reason Braylon is coming up, or Bray is coming up, the top of Skillshare is from his YouTube videos. He makes one every day, I think.
Yeah, no, he does a
You think
bunch of
that's
them.
why?
It's I don't know actually. Let's see, because it may be that I have some kind of history. Like if I go, but you have to be logged in to search Skillshare. It's probably the metrics. Like so if you search for day trading, there's 51 results. And student-wise, I think his is like the third most students. Let's see. There's one with 2,000. That means he's second. One with 8,000, but that doesn't count. It's about photography. Yeah, most of these courses aren't related to day trading. So basically there are like 10 or 11 courses related to day trading, and they're not specific. A lot of them are about cryptocurrency or the stock market. So it looks like there's not very much competition. And so he provided a product in a situation where there's not much competition. I don't know how long ago he did it, though.
Hey, what's up?
Does it tell you
It's
on this
definitely
one?
Bray.
Yeah.
Jackie, I just want to address what you last said, that marketing is important.
Yeah.
So since our audience are mainly drop shipping aware, since they are fans of yours, it's for me it's like this. It's not enough that you post an item on Amazon. It's not enough. You have to do your own platforms. Can you use? Facebook is free, YouTube is free, Instagram is free, Pinterest is free. So yeah, it's not enough that you upload, or rather you post your items on Amazon or eBay. That's not enough. You have to market
Talk about it, so to speak.
it as well. You have to use SEO. You have to use not enough. I'm gonna post item. I'm gonna post my course on Udemy, and I'm gonna have passive income like $5,000. Use YouTube to promote it.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I have a course. It's an awesome course. If you take it, even if you don't have any experience, within 2 weeks you're gonna be learning a skill that will get you earning $5,000 a day. Want to check it out? Here's the affiliate link.
Oh man.
Something like that, but we'll probably talk more about that. You gotta give a little content too, Axel. Jack talked about this last week. You can't just nobody cares about your course until they like you and trust you and care about what you're offering. You know what I mean? You can't just come in like that.
They gotta have ways to. There's a
you know what I learned, Jack? Go ahead, boss.
No, go on.
No, you go ahead first.
There's a metric you can think of called 7 interactions, where you should expect that before somebody will buy something from you. Okay, no. Before you can expect somebody to buy something from you, they need to have interacted with you in some way 7 times. So they need to have watched your video and seen your face. They need to have had a text conversation, left a comment, and you responded. This kind of thing. That needs to happen 7 separate times before they're actually likely to purchase something from you. And that's supposedly true whether it's a $20 product or a $1,000 product. Supposedly. Now, that's why one of the reasons... that's one of the reasons that I have an easier time with things, is because I have so much content out there related to stuff. As long as I'm doing something that is kind of relevant to drop shipping, like earning money online, chances are like I can make a video and I can advertise it, and I can be working with people, and I'm already starting at 3 or 4 interactions because they know me from some reason, from something in the past. And so that's one of the reasons that phrase, there's no such thing as bad publicity, is essentially true. It's obviously bad publicity is not as good publicity, but it's better than no publicity. And really, if there is a lot of ways for people to interact with you, whether they're actually interacting with you or they're just hearing about you, that gets them one step further along that interaction line, so to speak, and then they get more likely to purchase something. I can cite a specific example in my life where this was useful. I have a client, Sweet is the name of the company, and they do drop shipping stuff, right? So I help them make drop shipping decisions. And one of the things that I help them do is acquire accounts, because inevitably, if you're drop shipping, you get banned. You need to have fallback plans for when this happens so that you can just keep going. So the key to this is having multiple unlinked accounts, right? And normally that's a bit tricky, but because I have a reputation, I was able to run a YouTube ad campaign where I just targeted people who search for drop shipping, and then I showed them a 10-20 second video where I'm like, hey, do you not drop ship anymore? Are you tired of it? You don't want to do that anymore? I have somebody who will buy access to your account. They're paying between $100 and $400. And that's all I needed to do. But normally that wouldn't have been enough work. But because I was advertising this specifically to people who search for drop shipping, they probably have seen my face at some point somewhere, possibly. Not everybody who knows about drop shipping knows who I am, but a lot of people who pursue drop shipping information inevitably find something I did at some point or hear of my name at some point in conversation, right? So because I started working with this demographic of people who already knew me, I was able to get leads immediately just from that ad. Whereas when I did the same thing, but I was working with people who didn't know me yet and had no idea what I was talking about, I didn't get a single lead. And really, it really is about putting yourself out there and people knowing something about you and developing trust, and then they'll start purchasing stuff from you. That is very true. You can't just put stuff out there.
In a nutshell, basically, in a nutshell, you create enough content that you leave a on Google, a digital trail.
Yeah.
So if you type drop shipping, your name's gonna pop up because you left a digital trail. How did you leave a digital trail? From all the bazillion content pertaining to drop shipping.
Yeah,
That's
all the conversations, all the groups.
Digital
yep.
trail.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's essentially what you're doing. One of the things that I'm working with now is this Spanish content website where I'm figuring out how do I teach people in Latin America who speak Spanish, how do I teach them that not only is it possible to earn money online, but they're in an advantageous position to do so. Because the mentality necessary to see online income is real. It's tricky to teach because there's so much you have to work with, right? But one of the things I really have to figure out is how do I communicate with these people? How do I communicate to that mentality that they don't have at the moment? Or sorry, that mentality of thinking things aren't an opportunity, and how do I turn that into them thinking it is an opportunity? I'm still not sure how to do that,
Jack,
to be honest.
Jack, can I share my 2 cents? Can I share my 2 cents with regards to your problem? I know what you're feeling right now. What you're feeling right now is the same thing that Steve Jobs felt when he saw people using the Walkman. I know you're too young to have use a
I know
Walkman,
what a Walkman is, yeah.
player. Now, Steve Jobs is our a 90s guy. For example, we had a time machine, 1995 or better 1999. Yeah, 1999. Hey Jack, I have here a device that can allow you to play 100 songs, and you don't have to rewind it. And what your reaction gonna say, providing that you don't have any idea of the MP3 players, you're gonna be like, huh?
Yeah.
100 songs? Yeah, I think that's gonna be cool.
Dude, that was fucking amazing.
And
Back
Steve
when
Jobs,
Walkmans
no,
were a thing,
this will blow your.
it would skip you could be running, but the CD had to keep spinning. And if it stopped spinning or you jumped or something, it would cause the music to skip. I remember that. Like, it was irritating. So I
Yeah.
see what you're saying about 100 songs being
And
like, whoa.
and Steve Jobs is like his. And no, I'm not gonna blow your mind away. For example, you have no idea what an MP3 is. If I'm Steve Jobs, I'm gonna be holding your hair. I guess the same thing with your buyer persona or with the Latino people. You're like, I have the solution for your problem, and they're like, yeah, Jack, I think it's awesome. Okay, thank you for the offer. They're like that. They're like that. It's the same situation.
It's an
I
interesting
hope you got
comparison.
the analogy.
Yeah.
I
And
think it's like they think it's too good to be true.
Nah, not even Rita. They're like they don't have a clue that a little tweak in their lives, a little change their lives. They can't comprehend
yeah, a
it.
lot of people don't even
They can't
think
comprehend it.
that they can change it. It's not even
Jackie,
necessarily a
Jackie, I
disbelief that it's
remember
possible.
3 years ago. 3 years ago, Rita, he told me, Axel, you gotta monetize your writing, man. You gotta monetize. It's gonna help your family out, give you some money. I know you actually have some money problems, and I'm like, yeah, Jack. Yeah, I'll think about it. Monetize my writing. Yeah, I'm just like that. What my life? It's like all Jax was implying that Axel, you just find a way to get your writing monetized, and it's gonna help you out, your family out. It didn't. I didn't digest it at the first time I get it. I didn't digest that it can really change my life. I'm a copywriter right now, by the way. So basically, Jack persona. Buyer persona, I mean the people that you want to help. We call it buyer persona in the marketing world. They don't know the solution to their problems. You have the solution to their problems, but what your problem is right now is communicating. Basically, you want to transfer the idea in your head to their head. That's your problem right now. The idea in your brain, it's difficult to transfer it to their brains because maybe you're not using the language or
Exactly. Got to learn the
that's
right
what
language.
marketers deal with. That's what marketers deal with. How can I get my idea in my brain or brain?
Say that last part again. You cut out.
Rant over.
Oh.
Jack, I have an invention. I have this MP3 player. I'm Steve Jobs. And it bugs me. It kills me that you don't believe that this invention will will change you the way you listen to music. It kills me. This Jack Pittman fella, he doesn't believe that this MP3 player is gonna change his music, the way he listens to music. It bugs me. I think that's what you have. You have friends, relatives all over your place. They're thinking, how I wish that I could tell him that, hey, buddy, hombre, just a little tweak in your life.
Hombre.
Just practice 2 hours a day, and 6 months from now, you're gonna be able to afford that new house. You want to say that to them, but it's it's not that they don't listen. It's just that they don't digest they didn't process it. Just the same thing that if you go in a time machine and go back to 1999 and tell someone, hey, MP3 player, 100 songs, your Walkman, only 8 songs, use this. That guy's gonna be like, yeah, but I'm okay with my Walkman.
Yeah, it's true. It's super
So
tricky.
there's where the book by Robert Cialdini that I read. It's called Influence. It says Robert Cialdini. He's like a Jedi. He wrote a book and he said there's 7 things you can do to influence people: reciprocity, consistency, social proof. I'll give you one example. My daughter Marfil, she's 6 years old. She doesn't know how to swim. Here in the villa, in the subdivision that we live, there's a public pool. Now, as father, I'm afraid to like close my eyes, because maybe one time she's gonna jump in the pool, and please God, let not this happen, and she drowns. So what I did was I talked to my cousin. My cousin, his height is 6'2". Dennis, his name Dennis. Dennis is a swimmer. He has lifeguard experience. He's 6'2". Then I told Dennis, my daughter, my 6-year-old daughter, can you please teach him how to swim? And my cousin was like, all right, I'm gonna teach Marvel how to swim. Of course, she's my niece. I'm gonna help her to swim. Days pass. Marvel doesn't learn. She's still afraid to jump in the pool. She's still afraid to go on the deep waters. Even with Dennis, who's 6'2", like he can stand in the pool with his head above water. Then, you know what I realized? Marvel's friend, her name is Aya, a little girl named Aya. She's 5 years old, younger than my daughter. When Marvel saw Aya jump on the pool and swam, Marvel was like, hey, if she can do it, I can do it too. That's called, in Robert Cialdini's book, social proof. Basically thinking, if she, younger than me, shorter than me, can do it, I could do it too. So that's why you get these courses that are like, they're these testimonials, off the bat testimonials. Hi, my name is Axel, and because of Jack Pittman's course, I was able to lift my family out of poverty. I was also dumb. I'm dumber than you are right now. I don't even know how to spell my name, but Jack's course made it easy for me to drop ship. Thank you, Jack Pittman. And guys, to whoever is watching this, if me, who doesn't even know how to spell my name 6 months ago, can profit $1,000 a month from drop shipping, then you can do it too. So that's what you get, Jack. You get just a few testimonials under your belt. Just have them comment about how they changed, your course changed their lives, and trust me, you're gonna get more of them. So rant over. Thank you for bearing with my.
That was good food for thought, Axel. I would argue, though, that that's changing, because social proof isn't changing. Obviously, that's something that you can always give, but it's not as easy to activate social proof as it used to be. Like in the past, you could have a course and a couple testimonials. Like if we go back to that website I was showing earlier, you saw 6 testimonials, right? However, I didn't have any social proof. I don't feel socially proven at all by any of those content, because I understand the process and I understand the mechanic and I understand that those people can be paid to say these things. They're not actually proving anything to me, right? So what is necessary to establish social proof to me with this person is very different than what it is for any people at all, right? Because I have more cynicism and a lot more awareness of what information is online. But I just want to bring this up because it's not that a testimony is social proof. It's that historically, testimonies often activate feelings of social proof within potential customers. However, potential customers are from a given generation that has been exposed to a whole bunch of different things. They have a different worldview, right? So what kind of thing activates this social proof is going to be different based on the kind of person. For example, if somebody wants to sell a course to me and they want to socially prove it so that I trust them, it has to be cheap and they have to be a good person. If I believe these two things, I and them have social proof. Whereas for most other people, it's different, right? And I just want to point this out because the testimonies aren't social proof. They are indirect social proof. The testimony causes somebody to feel social proof, but the testimony itself isn't social proof. It only is social proof to that person that believes it. But to an audience that is incredibly cynical and will believe everybody is paid and will believe that it's a lie, a testimony holds no social proof whatsoever. However, a recommendation from a friend who is trusted, boom, social proof, right? So just keep that in mind if you're listening to this.
Uh, Jackie, basically, it's the third principle of Cialdini, aside from social proof, is authority. People are influenced by authority. So you mix that social proof by a credible guy. For example, I'm Tony Robbins. Hi, guys. I'm Tony Robbins, and I approve of Jack's course. Now that's bam. Or you get a police officer, or you
Yeah.
get a doctor saying,
The
I'm a doctor.
president.
I have a PhD, and my niece earned a lot of money because of Jack Pitzman's Udemy course. I recommend it. Authority plus social proof, bam, got it. That's what you're basically saying, right?
Yeah. But
Social proof
well,
is worthless if
what I'm
it's
trying to
from
say
just
is that it's always based on the person's perception. So talking about authority here is really good, because it, okay, a doctor saying that this course is recommended as long as it's relevant to health, right? That is
of
strong.
course.
That's good. That is an expert in the field who is recommending something. Me as a person, I don't really trust doctors. I should, but I don't. I have a distrust of doctors. I think most doctors
Yes,
are,
yes. I watched that video, Jack.
yeah, you get that, right?
You're unusual, Jack, though. I mean, I think about somebody like Dr. Mercola, who sells like a lot of vitamins and supplements and stuff like that. Man, he gets mad respect. Because he's, and there's a lot of reasons for that.
Yeah.
He's a doctor. He also is a very good speaker, and he comes across as very sincere and, things like that. So, I mean, the general public probably.
That's exactly what I was about to get at. Is that it's about
Jackie, the second principle of Robert Cialdini, the second principle, so authority, social proof. The second is likeness. So the more that you are being liked, a happy person, smiling, hi guys, the more you influence people. Like for example, Jack, you're a jolly person. I think it's obvious or everyone's agreement. So that's one of the reasons you are able to influence a lot of us. But if you're like this other person from Nicaragua, it's like, hey motherfuckers, how is your sale today, motherfuckers? If you're like that, you're not gonna influence as much. People tend to be like that. People that are jolly, that are like them. So again, social proof, authority, and likeness. So yeah, what Rita said.
Yeah, that makes sense. So what I was getting at when I brought up that I don't trust doctors is that this is all based on like norms and how people perceive things. And I just wanted to point out that if you can understand the perceptions of an audience that you're marketing something towards, it enables you to understand, okay, what is a likable person to these people? What is an authoritative person to these people? And that's something that you should keep in mind, is that just because something enables authority in you, or you think that it's authoritative, doesn't mean that it is true for all people. Like in my case, for example, I feel authoritative. I feel a person is authoritative when they have qualities that I like and I respect and I want. So if I meet someone who's very kind and is very articulate with their words and teaches people, I feel like they're an authority. I don't care if they don't make any money. I still feel like they're an authority because I can see that they are kind to people and that they aim to teach people. That being said, the vast rest of the world would view that person as having no authority at all. And that's what I'm trying to get at, is that even if you're talking about like a doctor can be authoritative to a certain demographic of people. And that demographic of people may be most people. But you really have to understand that, like testimonies, for example, it's something that activates social proof. A doctor is something that activates authority in people. But you have to understand that these things are all indirect and that they can vary a lot based on the people you're marketing to. And so that's what I'm trying to get at here, is that a testimony alone isn't social proof. A video from a doctor alone isn't authority. you also need the perception of that in the person you're trying to target. And you're going to be much better off if you can really accurately understand what these people think like and what they perceive as authoritative, right? And that's something that I have to learn a lot about with this specific Spanish content website, because it's not so much about me holding someone's hand and showing them how to earn money online. It's about me understanding how most Nicaraguans feel about their circumstance, how they feel about the internet, and figuring out how can I get them to see that they have options. Because that's where it has to start from. You can't just be like, oh, hey, do this, follow me. You have to get the person, nurture them, to get them to the point where they're like, oh, hey, I don't have to do it this way. I could do it that way. I could do it that way. You need them to be in that headspace, and then you can start working with them, right? So that's kind of my struggle here. Not so much struggle, but I have to spend a lot of time learning the language. I can cite an example here. I was in a taxi, and most of my experience speaking Spanish is with taxi drivers, right? And it came up like that I earn money online, and so the guy was like, how? And I was like, I mean, there's YouTube, there's courses, there's creating content, there's blogs, there's advertising, there's like creating products, there's doing affiliate marketing, there's getting paid specifically for videos, there's doing like video game content, there's creating products, there's creating courses, there's creating video games, there's creating ebooks, there's creating tutorials, there's doing like all of these things, right? But how do I translate that from the language in my worldview where I see infinite, right? I see infinite ways to make money online. There's so many different ways, no doubt about it at all in my heart, at all, in any way whatsoever, right? How do I get that into the heads of these people who think about online earning and they're asking like, oh, we don't believe you. Okay, we can't even think of one way that it's doable. You know, because these headspaces, these mentalities are complete opposite, right? Because I see so many different ways that I cannot count them. Yet these people see so few ways that they don't even believe that one could work, right? And I have to understand that more. I have to understand that doubt. I have to really get into it and feel for it and figure out how can I work with where these people are coming from to get them to start to see the way that I do. And
hey, Jack.
I don't know.
I wanted to, one thing might be showing them some of your pay, if you printed out some of your pay, that might just at least get their attention. Like I'm not saying the cab driver, but, friends there in Nicaragua, that might be enough to.
Well, and also from the perspective of marketing to people, I'm going to need to use a lot of these gimmicks. Like I'm going to need to try a lot of different experiments because I'm going to have this website up, right? Once I've gotten it and once it's set up, it's going to be a website that can show people various different ways to earn money online and how to deal with the financial aspect of how do you get your money, how do you open US businesses, what does it cost, how do you deal with taxes, all that stuff. So that product's going to exist. But how do I bring people to that product, right? How do I run successful advertising campaigns that get people to go there? And that's where what you're talking about is going to come in. I'm going to need to try a lot of different things, not just with people in person, but also running paid YouTube ads. That's probably going to be the main way that I get people to this course because YouTube ads in Spanish are pretty cheap. And a ton of people are on their phones every day here and use YouTube, tons and tons of people. So I know I have access to loads of people, but how do I activate that access, right?
That's another advantage for you because the advertising is so much cheaper.
Yeah, there's a lot of advantages like that. Advertising's cheaper, and specifically in this country right now, one of the things I didn't realize about Latin America was how much free time people have. In my head, before I lived here, I thought that all people were just struggling to find work and therefore were working shitty jobs constantly all the time. But the reality is loads of people are at home all day with their parents. It's super common to live in your grandparents' house or your parents' house, and you don't actually need to do anything. Like maybe there's a little bit of pressure to find some work, but you're going to be okay. You have access to a phone, you have access to internet, and you have access to food. Loads of people here are in that circumstance. So they have tons of free time, loads of free time. They need work, and they have access to the internet. I didn't.
And
Go on.
how much do you think you could realistically charge for your courses
It
there?
would be free for the first 30 days and then a monthly fee of $10 per month.
And that's pretty affordable.
Yeah, I would teach people in my advertising, one of the strategies would be saying that you could technically just get the course, download everything, and then leave with it. Like the idea is to spread information that's useful almost for free. And I'm going to make it so that if they forget to cancel it, then I can get money from it. But I'm not expecting to, I'm not going to be charging much money at all. A lot of the time it's going to be for free. That's one of the reasons that I know that because the goal is to put myself in a position where I have almost no competition. And marketing towards the Latin American market puts me in that position because I essentially have authority because of that reverse racism. Because I'm a white person, which I mean, I know that sounds dumb, but it's real here. It's an actual thing. You are treated better, you're viewed as smarter, and you're viewed as wealthier if you're white. I haven't earned that. I haven't done anything to earn that. But that's the reality of the circumstance here. So that's another reason, the cheaper marketing, the crazy access to free time people have, the widespread usage of the internet and mobile phones in particular. These are all things I didn't realize about the developing world or the third world. I thought that it was all villages and huts. That's not true. Most people in the world have access to some kind of cell phone with internet. It's more common than not nowadays. And being here has shown me that. It's not common to see computers and laptops, but everyone's on their phones. Phones are all over the place. Even if you go to a dangerous area where people are likely to get robbed and stolen, you can still see people sneaking peeks at their phone all the time, regularly. And that's something that has really shown me hey, there's a lot of factors here that I can work with, and I'm in a very unique position to be able to market to. So all reasons I'm really excited about this Spanish content website. But at this point, sorry, I've ranted a lot about this. I think that's it for now. Anything you guys want to touch on or anything else?
I'm good.
All right.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you.
Oh, wow. People are actually having conversations. Okay. Anyway. All right, guys. That's all for now. See you next time. Ciao.